Monster Energy Cup Series final practice from Watkins Glen International. We welcome our friends on NBC joining us here in Watkins Glen, New York. An absolute picturesque day and a beautiful area for watching road course racing. Beautiful setup here at the track at Watkins Glen. And just the second practice of the day for the Monster Energy Cup Series. They have been on track for almost 2.5 hours now. Just a few minutes remaining in this final practice session. And drivers trying to get that last little bit of adjustments that they can before qualifying, which will take place later this afternoon.
Well, you mentioned Watkins Glen, this famed 2.5-mile road course in upstate New York. It is built for stock car road course racing. You see its shape right here. It's a 7-turn road course. It starts down into turn 1. It's a downhill corner, very hard on the brakes, hard downshifts. Then you scoot over to the S's, which is a hill, 125 feet from turn 2 to turn 4, up the S's, down 185-mile-an-hour back straightaway into the inner loop, also called the bus stop. A quick little in and out through the long sweeping turn 5 into the left-hander of 6 to the last corner of turn 7. 7 corners. You would think that would be simple. It's anything but. This is the super speedway of road course racing. As I mentioned, well over 180 miles an hour.
And we're seeing some drivers like Kevin Harvick there in the 4, making his way through the inner loop and into the carousel. And as he comes out of the carousel, he'll be heading right towards our friend Jeff Burton in turn 6.
Yeah, well, you just saw Steve did a great job of explaining the racetrack. Well, he's coming right to me head on into turn 6, a hard left-hander. Left side tire's right on the curve. Now he's going to swing to the right. Now he's got to get back to the left very, very quickly. Get against the curb, accelerate very hard off of this corner, because now you're on the front stretch where Steve and Rick are located, and it's so important. Steve talked about turn 1, how heavy braking it is. Well, it's also downhill. The downhill climb to the S's starts now. That makes it hard to get the car slowed down. Going into the S's, you still are going downhill. This corner, the first right-hander, is not a difficult corner, but doing it right and very important to set up the rest of the S's. You can see the footwork. You can see what's going on, how he's upshifting right now. Now he's in 4th gear on this long back straightaway. He's going to the inner loop. This is where Fran Jr. will be. There's a downshift right there to 3rd, another downshift to 2nd. Now he's going to try to straighten the inner loop out the best he can, accelerate. Big jump on the throttle right now. Now he's off. Now he's trying to feed the throttle, stay on the bottom, but beat the throttle, full throttle as soon as you can off of the carousel to carry that speed onto this long straightaway again. Now he's in the same part of the racetrack where we started this lap, heading directly to me for the left-hander.
Rick, I have a feeling this is not what it looks like when you drive your car around the streets. You're not quite this busy. It's a great shot of not only what he's doing with the steering wheel and the shifter, but his feet on the right side. You're going to see, unlike a car you might drive around, his left foot is never going to go over to the clutch. It's not needed to change gears. You just tap the gas a little bit. He's on the brakes heavy. Tap the gas right there. That's a downshift. And then he'll get to the gas, and you'll see him lift just for a second. That's as he upshifts. So never have to use a clutch all the way around this road course. Right there, that's an upshift.
And then he goes up the hill right in front of Mike Bagley.
Kevin Harvick comes into turn number 3, Rick, and it's unbelievable to watch him race around this road course. Turn 3 is a very tricky turn. You want to stay off the curbing. We'll hear Dale Jr., we'll hear Jeff talk about how the curbing can be used around this racetrack, not in the S's. If you hook the curbing 4 times than not, you're going to go into the Armco barrier that lines both sides of this turn.
One of the biggest stories of the weekend is going to be Jamie McMurray and the 1. He, along with A.J. Allmendinger, drivers that need to have a win if they want to make it into the playoffs. They're not even in the playoff picture right now, not even in the top 20.
Yeah, so here's the deal, right? Basically, 16 cars will make the playoffs. Everybody in yellow, they have won a race. Once you win, you're automatically in. You see all the names in white. They're fighting for points. Alex Bowman on up, currently in. But if someone below the red line either has a great day points-wise, or if you mentioned wins a race, they move to the top. That shifts everybody down. So it's a moving target with only 5 races left in the playoffs.
5 unique races that are coming up. Go from a road course here to the fastest track at Michigan next week. So these drivers constantly changing, trying to figure out exactly where they can do the best. And right now, Jamie McMurray thinking about this racetrack, this opportunity for him to make it into the playoffs.
Only under 10 minutes left of practice. These cars will have to qualify later today after the Xfinity race. All on-track activity was today. It's been a busy day up here at Watkins Glen. Normally spread over 3 days, condensed this year down to 2 days, and the teams are adapting, trying to figure out how to get everything done in just 2 practices.
And so far in this practice, this final practice, Denny Hamlin has been the dominant driver. He has the fastest lap turn here at Watkins Glen. Monster Energy Cup Series final practice from Watkins Glen International. And a little different perspective from 3 of our broadcast partners who are out on the racetrack. Mike Bagley will be through the S's, Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the inner loop, Jeff Burton in turn 6. Dale, thank you for joining us. I know you've used so much power out there that they had to restart your generator for you to join this party.
Yeah, plugged in my iPhone and my iPad and shut down the generator, but we're all good now. I went and got my buddy here, a stat guy down there, and he fixed it up. We're good to go.
Joe is good to go. Well, Mike Bagley, what are you seeing in the S's?
I'm seeing a lot of cars slipping and sliding, Rick. As this day wears on, this track is getting slicker. We talk about the S's being turns 2, 3, and 4. Stevie told us a moment ago that 125-foot climb from the bottom of turn 2 to the top of turn 4 and the exit of the S's. It's a very narrow portion of the racetrack, and it gets even more narrow when the track gets slicker. We've seen guys slipping and sliding, just trying to hang on, and when they do that, they lose time. But if they get through here okay, then it's a good run off turn number 4. And Dale Jr., it's a great run up that back straightaway for a complex set of corners in front of you.
Absolutely. We're watching today as it gets warmer. Guys having to change the way they're getting into the braking zone of the inner loop. Guys having trouble trying to charge that braking zone and really challenge the car to stop in a shorter period of time. You'll see that all day Sunday as guys make mistakes or misjudge the car's ability to slow down. So guys are going to fly into this inner loop, run in the back of each other and miss that corner and have trouble carrying that speed on exit into the carousel. And also we're going to see guys fighting for grip in the carousel. It's kind of like the only oval track corner that we have here in this road course. But it's a little downhill, a little off camber, really hard to get the power down on the exit of the carousel. We're going to see guys fighting that all day. Yeah, Junior, as much as we've seen people have trouble with grip today, they're doing it by themselves. I mean, today, you're really racing the racetrack, trying to make the best lap time that you can make. But come tomorrow, now you're going to be slipping and sliding and competing for positions on the racetrack. And every braking zone becomes a passing opportunity, which means every braking zone becomes a place you have to block. You have to do things you wouldn't normally do, and you certainly don't have to do today. Today is about being online, hitting everything perfect, working on your car. Tomorrow, in many cases, is about defending the position, and that's where we see contact happen. And anytime there's a braking zone like here in turn 6 in front of me and then going into turn 7, it's places where you're going to see positions battled for, and it's going to be great fun out here on the racetrack watching.
Well, the guy who's having the most fun right now would be the guy driving the 11, Denny Hamlin, the fastest on the racetrack. For more on Denny, let's go into the garage and Kelly Stavist.
And Rick, it's been a little bit of an eventful practice day for Denny Hamlin in this 11 car. In the first practice, he actually made a little bit of contact with the wall. That was just superficial, no real damage, but he only got a handful of laps in that first practice. They made a transmission change after that. We'll go back and have a look at this contact here. He's just going to scrape it just a little bit there on the left side. Like I said, no real damage. But they did change the transmission, so he only got a handful of laps in that first practice. The second practice, he's obviously gone out and set the fastest time, although his race car was really loose to start things out. Then after one of his runs, Denny telling his crew chief that he was having trouble with over-revving it when he gets into the turn. So he told his crew chief, Mike Wheeler, to check it over pretty good. Presumably they have done that. They've since sent him back out. And one note that they had for him is that his car is looking even better through the carousel.
By the way, that little damage that she talked about, I just got my car out of the body shop. That's about $1,000. That's what that costs to get that little bit of damage fixed when you send it to the body shop. How about A.J. Allmendinger here in the 47? What an incredible opportunity for A.J. He is known as one of the best road course racers. This might be his only opportunity to get into the playoffs and fight for a championship.
Yeah, everybody wants to know. Look at this right here, down on the front bumper of the 47, kind of on the right front corner. I think he's just comfortable. You see his only career win came here in 2014. A hard-fought battle back with Marcus Ambrose, who's no longer in the series. He put so much pressure on himself at Sonoma, had a great race, missed a shift, broke the engine, This one is circled on his calendar, so that's out of turn 7, the last corner. Now heading down the front stretch to the downhill braking zone. No one does it better than A.J. Allmendinger. You hear the downshifts. He's going to look for the curbing. Just touches the curbing, into the power, and across to turn 2.
You talk about his successes and challenges on road courses. He is one of the more aggressive road course drivers in the Cup Series. He comes to the S's. He just attacks the S's. Drives it right down to the bottom of turn number 3. Set sail up through turn number 4. And now shifts into 4th gear. Wide open. Headed down into the inner loop.
Downshifting all the way to 2nd gear. Uses all the curves he can in the inner loop. Trying to fight for that forward drive. You hear the throttle. You see him chasing the back of the car around. We're going through the carousel. One car on the left. Throttle down here. Trying to get full power. Yep. Yeah, so there you see him. He's shifted. Now he's going to have to downshift. Right here's a heavy braking zone. Down to 2nd. Get against that curve. Accelerate as hard as you can. Now back to the left. To set yourself up for this right-hander. 2nd gear through all of that. Coming to the front straightaway in turn 1, which is a great passing zone.
And the intensity always up for A.J. Allmendinger, trying to get every single second out of the lap. Let's listen into his radio.
Do we have something else to do? Because we know what nose weight ain't fixing it all. So I'd almost rather leave that and try to use something else. You got any other ideas? Because we know what that's already going to do. It's not going to fix it. The front turn's still pretty decent through the center. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I can be a little tight, but I'm mostly just counter steering every corner. So I said, if you put the nose weight in it, it's not, I mean, that's not going to fix it.
Crew chief.
Well, so basically, it sounds like they had a planned nose weight change. They could slide the ballast in the car, change the percentage of weight on the front tires. AJ's saying, listen, I don't think that's going to fix it. I'm counter steering. So that tells me it goes into every corner, whether it's a right or a left. The back of the car slides out. So he has to turn into the corner to make sure he doesn't spin the car out. He's looking for a little more stability. I mean, that is road course racing in a nutshell, is a compromise. What are we going to try? We're going both directions. Some are high speed, some are low speed. And one thing, you mentioned the pressure on A.J. Allmendinger as the red and black come out to end practice. He may be a road course expert, but there are other guys in the field that have shown their own prowess on the road courses. We mentioned Denny Hamlin was fast. Chase Elliott jumped to the top of the board at the end. Man, we have McDowell in the field who's very fast. Kyle Busch. So many cars are showing good speed so far through the weekend.
Yeah, looking at AJ's times all day long, you can sense a little bit of frustration that his car isn't providing or producing a little more speed. He knows how competitive he needs to be able to win this race, and I don't know that he feels that they have good enough cars. So they've obviously tried the nose weight change, and it's not really giving him the sensation, or it's not really fixing the issues that he's having. So he's looking for other ways to improve the lateral grip. That means when the car turns left or right, that the rear hooks up to the racetrack and have to slide across the racetrack. So a lot of directional changes at this racetrack, especially in the inner loop where I'm at. And he's trying to figure out how to give the back of the car more grip. Yeah, Junior, we talked earlier about drivers that, weren't so good at road course racing. They really don't know what they're looking for. But in A.J. Allmendinger's case, he knows exactly what he wants his car to do. And when you know that and your team can't find a way to make it happen, it becomes very, very frustrating, because you know that those small problems that you're having, they can prevent you from winning this race. They can prevent you from being able to aggressively attack a braking zone, or be able to defend a spot in the middle of the corner where the car needs to turn better. Whatever you have to do in any given situation, I don't care how good you are. If your car won't let you do it, you can't do it. So I think you're hearing part of that frustration coming from that race car.
Well, why are we focused on A.J. Allmendinger? Because he's proven that Watkins Glen be a bit of a wild card, different favorites than at all of the oval tracks we see for the majority of the season, and he did it racing one of the best. Marcus Ambrose is the driver of that 9 to 47 of A.J. Allmendinger. They traded paint, traded tire marks in the end. Look at the emotion. The fist pump during the burnout. Only career win, did it in high style. And I think, look, so popular. Other owners came to see him. The captain, Roger Penske, Richard Childress, everybody wanted to come see him. I mean, that's what it takes. A win. A.J. Allmendinger, he's not even in the top 20. We don't see his name because he's not on there, Rick. If he jumps in, that slides everybody down. Bowman's now out. 7-time champ Jimmy Johnson would then be on the bubble. Could you believe that? With 5 races left, Jimmy Johnson perhaps not in a place to make the playoffs.
it's like that one opportunity. You give the Cleveland Browns and you say, okay, if you win this one game, you're going to make it to the Super Bowl. And, well, it might be a stretch sometimes for Cleveland, but that's the opportunity that A.J. Allmendinger has. He has this opportunity in front of him. If he wins this race, which he's very good at road course racing, he will be in the playoffs and have a shot at the championship.
When we talk so much about A.J. Allmendinger, he isn't the only road course ringer in my mind. How about Micah McDowell, second best on average lap times so far this weekend? Could this be his weekend? Could he get his first win and upset everyone in the playoff picture?
Been great racing. The battle between the Xfinity Series regulars and the Cup interlopers who come in to try to steal the win. It's time now to go to Krista, Kyle, and DJ.